Right now, I want to introduce my next guest, Daniel Odongo, who is 26, and he is popularly known as the blind pilot. Or was I correct by saying that you're popularly known as the blind pilot?
Yeah, it is true, because from the history, I was born blind back on 24th August 1992 in Mumias, and I was born blind. And because of that disability of blindness, the family separated, but I had to accept the condition to be brought up by an old grandmother. Life was very tough. That really affected me, but I thank God because somebody somewhere from a Catholic church nun came over and they picked me to Kibo School for the Blind. I was class 8 in the year 2006, sat for my KCP exams, had my best results, 351 marks out of 500.
Oh, wow.
I moved to Thika School for the Blind.
You mentioned earlier that you were being raised by your grandmother. Your parents were not in the picture. So all throughout your school life, were your parents then back in the picture, or it was still your grandmother raising you?
No, my grandmother passed on after 5 years when I was taken up by a nurse. So the nurse had to take over the duty of parenting me from that time up to date.
So do you have a relationship with your biological parents?
Not really that good until last year when I had gone through university and also the same time joined the aviation college. When they realized that I had my sight back, then they said, wow, this could be our son.
And you were blind for how many years before you got your sight back?
I was blind for 20 good years.
Okay. So how did you get back your sight?
My sight I got back when I was sick of cerebral malaria and a lot of stress during my second year.
That's second year university?
Yeah, second year university. I was sick of malaria. Then after being treated at the health unit, I was taken to Kikuyu Eye Hospital. I was treated with malaria. Then after that, I was told to go back for further treatment. Then this lady who came around saying, Dan, you know what, I want you to go back to the hospital, take surgery. I told her, no, look here, I've been living with this kind of disability. In fact, it is like my normality. I don't need you to see because I'm comfortable. The way I walk with my white cane, the way I touch, the way I can read so many things, I'm very much comfortable.
So you didn't want to be given false hope?
For what reasons after living for all these kind of years without sight?
Because it's all you knew, you were blind your entire life?
Yes. I was very comfortable and it was like my normality in that kind of a state. Now, after persisting so much, I said, okay, I'll have to go for this surgery just to please you, but don't even ask me for a single coin because I know how my family relates with me and how the community has also been relating with me. So I hope you won't lock me here in the hospital so that I don't go and finish up my degree. I said, okay, I'll see on how I can help out. I accepted, I went for this surgery, and after a very long time of surgery, between 6 in the morning up to 5 in the evening, with more than 5 doctors performing the same surgery and consulting one another. I was given a bandage. I was taken back to the ward the following day. They removed the bandage, and then when somebody could pass the hand like this, I could see something moving, but I couldn't share with my people that I was seeing anything moving in front of me.
Why couldn't you share?
No, they could ask me what is that, and I don't know. So I couldn't
also,
answer that
they would ask
question.
you, can you see anything, and what would be your answer?
I can't see anything.
Yet you were seeing something?
Yes.
It's because you were not sure whether that was what seeing anything meant?
Yes.
Because you had never seen.
You, what is this? What do you answer? And I've never seen anything.
Okay, so there you are, just came from the surgery, and your vision is slowly coming back.
Yeah.
Though fuzzy, not very clear. So what happens next?
When I left the theater, when I came back to the university, I wanted also to join others in the pool. But they say, now, Dan, oh, your seat is supposed to be there. Why are you not sitting in front of the class? They always sit. I told them, okay, I'm also comfortable sitting next to each other, each one of you here. Little they know that I was having my sight back.
So you had not told anyone at that point that you could see? No,
how do you tell them? I couldn't tell them.
Why?
How do I even begin telling them that how I have my sight back? If they could ask me write then your name on a piece of paper, and you see the way we write in braille is not the same way we write in print. So I was a little bit shy, and some are bright, so that if I tell them I'm seeing, they can ask me, okay, if you are seeing, write for us your name. And I do not write using a pen.
So you were fearful
yes.
of this new life, or
yeah.
should I say this new lease on life.
Good.
So there you were, and I can imagine when you were blind, as a young boy, as a young man, you must have been praying to God to give you your sight back.
No, no.
You never
no,
prayed
no,
even once?
No, no. It is anomalous.
You never wanted your sight back?
Yes.
Because you had accepted I'll be blind for life.
Yes, I was so much comfortable with that because that was my normality.
So even going into the surgery, you went ile sasa jua unataka acha niende nifanye.
Yes, because
But
she forced me to be there.
Yeah.
Little did I know that she was wishing me well.
But ulijua tu hata utaenda, you'll just come out, you'll still be the same old,
Yes.
nothing will change.
Yes.
So when the change comes now, you're the first one to be in denial.
Yeah, of course I was very happy to get that sight now that I could see things that I never wanted to share with people that I was seeing. So it took me like about 4 to 5 months. Then
4 to 5 months.
Yes, to go back
So-
to the hospital.
People who previously saw you as a blind man kept seeing you as a blind man, despite
Yes.
the fact that you could see.
Yes, to me I knew things by touching, not by seeing.
Seeing.
Yeah,
So you are learning now seeing.
yes.
So that if someone asks you what color is this, now you're like, oh, that is red.
And in fact, those people are very helpful to me. Those very small kids in the village in Madare there. Could ask them, what did you learn today? We learned alphabetical letters. How did you write letter A? No, look at this. You're so big and you know how to write even alphabetical letters.
So you would learn from the kids in
Yes.
secret?
Yes. So they could show me how to write alphabetical letter, both capital and small letters. I said, wow, that's good. Now in 2014, I went back to the same hospital to thank the doctors who performed the surgery. They were very happy and they told me, Dan, you have to go back to the theater for the second surgery. This time round, I couldn't argue so much. I said, please let me even go right now. And I went there. I got my sight back on the right eye. Then
So before it was just one eye, the
It
left
was just
eye.
one
Then
eye,
after the
the left
second
eye.
surgery, it was now the right eye.
the right eye.
Okay.
Now here I'm able to see, I'm able to write with a pen. I said, no, let me confirm whether I'm able to see. I went to seniors driving school in Dandora. I was given a Leyland lorry. I was able to get my driving license BC class. Then I called my mother, I told my mother, do you remember that I was born blind? Then because of my blindness, the family separated? Yes, we remember very well. Right now I'm seeing and I can drive a car in Nairobi. They said, please.
Would you say that perhaps for you this life trauma, and I say life trauma simply because you were born blind, and then in your adulthood, you get your sight back? Because it's a lot. Daktari, and maybe let me just rope in Daktari here. It's a lot for anyone.
Yeah, I agree. It's a lot. When a child is born blind, the milestones they achieve are related to what capacities they already have. So he could not see, therefore he developed the touching and the feeling and not the sight. Therefore he knew nothing by sight.
Seeing, yes.
Yes, because children will learn through the sensory organs, but that one was absent. And definitely it's traumatic also for the parents, particularly in setups where no therapy is given to parents who have such children. And well, I thank God for the VC then who helped him. That tells us that when we meet people who can intervene in our situations, then we are likely to bounce back and achieve our life dreams.
And I think even with him, what
yeah.
you can catch is even when you were blind, he was still a brilliant
Yes.
child. Yeah? Even with the,
Yeah.
inability of seeing, look at the marks he scored. And then even the, for lack of a better word, the craftiness of hiding from people that he was seeing, even if it was in one eye and keeping up the rules. That's a bright mind.
Yeah, that's what we call resilience.
Yeah.
He had this disability in terms of sight, but all the other capacities were present, and in his makeup, he was able to exploit those ones, which is very, very excellent of him. But I also noticed that what we might find odd, that he could not accept that he is seeing. And you can understand why. Developmentally, you're not sure of where you're going, but he's aware of where he has come from, and he has been managing. So that fear of the unknown, the fear that those opportunities he has had may just disappear. Simply now he has this sight that everyone else has.
Have you sought help? Like, did you have to go through some counseling once now your vision came back fully?
I never had to go for counseling. To me, I used to be a pastor, even in the university or the high school. I could preach what I don't know, but I just knew that I was touching people's life. And the many times I used to tell people that I want to become a pilot, they could say, Dan, I think we'll take you to Madara Mental Hospital. Reason that you are not seeing and you want to become a pilot. This is very much impossible. And I told them, time will determine, but very sure I'll become one. My first time to be on board on Jumbo Jet from Nairobi here to Mombasa, I remained sitting in the aeroplane. They asked me, what are you doing here? How do we help you? I told them I want to speak to the pilot. They said, no, you need to have an appointment. I told them, yes, I don't have an appointment. I agree with you, but I'll have to speak to him. They said, this won't happen. So I told them, well and good. If you are ready to carry me, go ahead. But I have to speak to him. So after hearing all that argument, he said, okay. He opened his door, he came out and he talked to me. He said, I'm Captain Duke, how do I help you? I told him I'm Daniel Odongo, I was born blind, have my sight back, and I also want to become a pilot. I enjoyed the journey from Nairobi to Mombasa, and I also want to become one. He said, I've never had a single passenger ask me for this kind of favor. Because of us, get my card, let's meet at Wilson Airport, and that's how my journey to become a pilot was real.
So, you're currently training, or have you finished your training?
I've done the PPL, the ground school that I'm done with. Then it's about a matter of adjusting the hours, and especially in the environment from Mathare, where you move from one office to another, selling such kind of ball pens at 100 shillings to raise some 40,000 to pay for the ground school. From ground school, you have to pay every hour you go up in the skies, 20,000. You have to pay for the navigation, you have to buy the uniforms, you have to buy the bus, you have to buy these. It is not easy. So you struggle, but along the way, with the media coverage, I had to get some support from Mama Ngina Kenyatta and also the president when we met back in 25th of May 2018.
And they're supporting your education now?
Not really, they just came in to support for a few hours, but she called CS Amina and asked her kindly to get me a scholarship as a father for the CPL. But currently, I'm still a student, hardworking, very much determined, very much focused, that very soon, from out of selling these pens, I'll also become a pilot with passion.
Dan, would you say that you have been depressed at any point?
Depression was there, especially now that I have this chance to go to the university. My brother has spoiled every plan that I had. He has gone to the donors who used to support me, the nuns. They no longer have that trust and believe in me that this issue of coming up with a fake admission letter. At one point, I took Ratrat in the house, thinking that I'll die. But I went up again, taking soapy water. It controlled the whole thing. I went for another treatment. It was well. I also, second attempt I made to get myself in the middle of the highway, but no car came knocking me. I survived. But I said, now, what is this?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, when you walked into the road, this was in Rongai, next to Multimedia, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, right now, how are you coping? How long have you had your sight back for?
I've already had my sight back for the last 5 years.
Okay.
And as I was celebrating yesterday, they also gave me a home welcoming back to the nuns. My father and I were able to eat from the same plate, using the same spoon that was able to separate us that long time ago.